Hey Credit Warriors, Credit Shifu here, and this is a little video talking about how to use the annual free night on the World of Hyatt credit cards from Chase. Now there are actually two Hyatt credit cards from Chase. There is an older one, which is $75 per year. That's the one we've got. And people with that one are all grandfathered into it. It's not available for new customers. And then there's a new World of Hyatt card from Chase, which is $95 a year, has a few different benefits, etc. We won't go into specifically the differences between the two cards in general. We're just going to be talking about the free night which exists on both of these cards. And we're doing this video because I just used we all just used Mrs. Credit Shifu's free night on her World of Hyatt card, the older Hyatt card, which she's grandfathered into. She hasn't converted to the newer one. We used it last night up here in upstate New York to go to a hotel, to go to Hyatt Place, which was, it's quite nice. It's a lower end hotel. And we had a great time. And I'll do a little bit of a review of that particular hotel at the end of this video. I'm just showing you a couple of shots on screen there. But we'll mainly talk about how to use the free night certificates. So many hotel credit cards, including Hyatt, but also Marriott, certain Hilton cards, etc., offer an annual free night. That's why some people call these like a sock drawer card or a keeper card. Basically, you can just leave it in your sock drawer, not use it, and every year you get a free night which covers the annual fee and then brings you in extra value on top of that. So you make money, sort of make money in theory just by having the card, okay? Now, on the Hyatt credit cards, you can stay in a Hyatt property up to category 4, which would normally cost 15,000 points for the standard room. Okay, I'm just showing the Hyatt reward chart up on the screen there. Now, if you have club access or something, that will cost extra points, so you wouldn't be able to book those rooms in category 4, but generally, it is just the standard redemption in category 4, 15,000 points. Now, first of all, let's look at the hotel we stayed at, and then we'll talk about actually maximizing the benefit, all right? So the hotel we stayed at was actually category 2, not category 4, so it only cost 8,000 points a night, or in money, it would cost approximately $126 per night, okay? So $126 was actually the rate for tonight, because obviously I can't search in the past, so that's a Sunday night instead of a Saturday night. But we'll just go with that. It's approximately around 120. We'll go with 126. So the card costs $75 per year. So if you subtract the annual fee from the cost in cash of the night in the hotel, you get basically how much kind of profit you're earning from having the card. So 126 minus 75 is $51. So we're up $51 just by having the card before we take into account point earning or anything else, any of the other benefits. And if you have the new card, you just subtract the higher annual fee, $95. So 126 minus 95 is $31 profit you would have been in. If you'd stayed at the Hyatt Place in Poughkeepsie in upstate New York, which is where we stayed, which is only a category 2. So we didn't really maximize the benefit. We'll talk about maximizing in just a second, but first of all, why didn't I maximize it? Well, I did look at some other hotels I could have stayed at, right? I could have gone to a category 4 down in New York, which would have been much more expensive in price, and we'll look at the prices in a minute. But it kind of comes into the paradox of you've got this free night, but if you go out of your way to use it on something you wouldn't have otherwise wanted to do, then you're going to spend extra money in like gas and restaurants while you're there and that kind of stuff. So are you really getting value out of it? Because it's forcing you to spend extra money. So I chose to use it instead in a weekend away that I actually wanted to go to this area of upstate New York and check out, certain attractions there, and I wanted to stay in a hotel. So really, it was the best use for us. But let's just out of interest look at how to maximize the free night benefit. So because it's category 4, a good hotel to look for on Hyatt's website is Hyatt Regency, because these hotels, this brand seems to be pretty much at category 4, most of their properties, okay, at 15,000 points, category 4. So let's take a look at one. You could stay at this Hyatt Regency in Paris. Now you can see the price per night is 214 euros. That's 238 US dollars at current exchange rates. So if we deduct the $75 annual fee from 238, we get $163. So that's how much kind of profit you would have made just by having the card. On the old card, if you've got the newer Hyatt card, you subtract $95 from $238 and you get a profit of $143. Now, obviously that's overseas, so it would have to be part of a trip to Europe or something. Let's look at one closer to home. So if, let's say you're going to New York City, you could stay just across the river in Jersey City, New Jersey. It's just a very short subway ride, or it's called the PATH train, but it's basically a subway, very short subway ride across. And yeah, this Hyatt Regency, again, it's category 4. It would cost $176 per night when I checked. So 176 minus 75, that's $101 you'd be in profit by having the card. And then 176 minus the higher annual fee on the newer card, minus 95, that's $81 profit you would have made just by having the card. Okay, so those are a couple of options for, maxing out the card. Make sure it's category 4, and a good brand to look for is Hyatt Regency, because it tends to sit in the category 4, a lot of their properties. Okay, now, you know why I didn't bother to max it out. I felt what I did was better because, there's a way up between getting maximum value for it and forcing yourself to do something that you wouldn't otherwise have done just because you have this benefit, all right? So you spend extra money in getting to a place and, all the things you do while you're there just to maximize this free night benefit before it runs out. Now it's just running out in mid-September, September 16th, I think. So we did want to use it before then. But this trip was something we did genuinely want to do. So now I'm going to tell you a little bit about my trip. So we actually went to an area around Poughkeepsie in upstate New York. We drove over there from Orange County, which is where we are, and we went to Poughkeepsie. It's in Dutchess County, which is another one of the counties a little bit north of New York City. Still very close to New York, within 2 hours from New York City, maybe even an hour and a half. And we first of all went to this kind of weird house called Wings Castle, the Wing family castle. I'll put some images of it on screen. It's this very strange house with this guy who had really no background in engineering or architecture built from scratch himself. And his wife gives the tours. Tragically, he died in a car accident when he was 67, but his wife still lives there. She's a grandma, and she gives the tours herself. And she runs it as a bed and breakfast. She has 4 rooms that she rents out. It's a very strange house, very cool though. It's got this really cool pool that has actually a tunnel. You can swim from one pool to another, kind of under the castle. I didn't take any footage of the inside, but you see what the outside is like. You can imagine what the inside is like. It's just as you'd imagine it. It was very, very cool, just like a castle. Very amazing. So I'll put their website in probably a comment below or something anyone wants to check out. If anyone's going up to the wine country up in upstate New York, wine tour or something, that's a great place to stay. You might like it, you might not. It's sort of a very themed place, but if you are into some sort of rustic cottage, it's very cool. And you can just go for a tour. I think it's $12 for adults, $10 for kids, and she'll take you around and give you a tour. Anyway, and then we went to this walkway across the Hudson. Can check that out. Hey guys, so we are on this walkway across the Hudson. Pretty cool. This way goes down to New York City. Not sure if you can see that behind me. And this way over here, you can see the Catskills Mountains up in the distance, somewhere up there. I think we'll put in a close-up shot of that. Anyway, pretty cool. And then we drove over to the hotel, which was in Poughkeepsie. So Hyatt Place, this is actually a brand new hotel, just been open for like 1 month, I think. So it had that new hotel smell. Had this very cool fireplace, kind of fake fire thing in the lobby, which I really liked. The kids loved it as well. And then we check out the room. So the room, it's a basic hotel, but everything was new. So it had a really nice feel to it. It was very modern, so that kind of makes up for it being at the kind of budget level. Had this great sofa in our room, 2 queen beds. As always, questionable art on the walls. That comes as standard. Had a massive TV, probably about 50 inches. The bathroom was nice as well. No bathtub, but just a shower. Reasonable products. Everything was clean, nice, as you'd want. You had ironing board, iron, everything in the closet. The usual coffee maker, a load of cups and that kind of stuff. The breakfast also was really nice. So members get free breakfast. I think we're Discoverists, so I don't know if it was member or whether it was specifically for Discoverists, but anyway, whatever. We got free breakfast because of that membership. We also got a free water when we checked in. But anyway, going back to breakfast, it's a really good breakfast. So definitely it competes. It's much better than the breakfast at, say, Hampton Inn by Hilton or Courtyard by Marriott. It's actually it feels a little bit of a nicer standard at this particular Hyatt Place property. At some other Hyatt Place hotels, the breakfast hasn't been good, but at this one, it really was good. And you can see, eggs, bacon, potatoes, there's like fruit, there's also waffles. Very, very good. One bad thing was they had the Starbucks in the lobby. It's just a Starbucks. It's not an actual Starbucks, but it's Starbucks coffee served by their staff. But the machine broke down, which was a shame. So I couldn't have a Starbucks cappuccino. So that was one bad thing, but that's probably just a little glitch because they've just opened, stuff not running smoothly. Otherwise, very positive experience at Hyatt Place Poughkeepsie. And to me, still a profitable, use of the free night. We made about $51, so I was still happy with that, even though it obviously wasn't maxing it out, but it was an appropriate redemption for what we were trying to do. All right, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video and a little kind of tutorial of how to get value out of the free night. Obviously, you can combine free nights with paid stays, point stays to be part of a larger trip. You don't have to just go for one night, but I quite like to do those kind of like weekend away where I just stay one night because I don't want to drive too much in one day. And the kids also don't like sitting in the car for too long. If you are interested in hotel cards, many of which do give free nights, we'll put the selection of hotel cards in the description below, and I'll also put a link to the actual Hyatt credit card, the new one, which gives a free night. You can check that out too. As always, affiliate links from our sponsors. If you want to see advertiser disclosure, right at the bottom of the description section. As always, please leave a comment. What do you think of this? And please subscribe if you're new. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.